So, COVID-19, the coronavirus, is the only thing we ever hear about and talk about, and with it, with this virus, it's brought about the lockdown that we're seeing here in the UK and all over the world. Although in many parts of the world, in the UK, in not the UK but in the US, in places such as California and other states, they are really pushing to break this lockdown and to get places like gyms, other places like that, etc., open again. So recently, I learned that another doctor, I say another doctor, but another individual was more or less have deplatformed from social media. They've been silenced and they've been removed from all the social media platforms that you can think of. Now, this man's name is Dr. Rashid Buttar, and I do remember watching an interview that he had with the London Real TV channel on YouTube, owned by Brian Rose. And the reason why he had been more or less had all his social media platforms removed was because, again, he like the other individuals who have been more or less been banned from social media, he has had opinions and views which greatly opposes what we're being told, especially by the mainstream media, about the coronavirus and whether this thing is real, whether the lockdown has helped at all, whether the lockdown was even a good idea at all. Because even before I learned about Dr. Bottal, Dr. Dan Erickson had uploaded a video to YouTube, and that video was almost deleted almost immediately. I didn't watch it, but of course that's what I heard. Dr. Erickson was talking about the lockdown and whether the lockdown had been a good idea, whether it had a positive effect on reducing the death rate and number of people losing their lives, and he had said in that video that the lockdown unfortunately would only slow things down, would only slow the death rate down. That unfortunately this is a virus that you just have to allow the virus to run its course. But even that if you think about it, that does make a lot of sense, because no matter what you do, just given the way people are, the sort of the way we behave as human beings, we are social creatures. We want to be near people, we want to interact with people, we enjoy other people's company, of course, as long as you like the other person. So that's something that you just can't get away from. It's part of human nature. But again, he was more or less deplatformed. He was silenced. That video, which went viral, had received millions of views because what he was saying made a lot of logical sense. It was stripped from YouTube. And as I'm making this video now, although my channel has a mere 10 subscribers, which I'm very grateful for, as a start, thank you guys. I'm unsure as to whether YouTube may also deplatform my deplatform me and delete this video and take the channel away also. So yeah, the point I'm making here is that three people that I know of, have now been deplatformed and silenced, and they because of what they've said and because the opinions they have greatly oppose the opinions that are being reported in the mainstream media. So it only heightens my suspicions even more. So what's really going on? Is this a pandemic or a scamdemic, as I heard someone online say? So yeah, I've recently stopped listening to the mainstream media now, because I can't really, how should I say this? The way things are being reported, and I know I may be repeating myself here, but the way things are being reported in the mainstream media, it does, again, it's being reported by a journalist, by a news reporter, by a broadcasting corporation company. That institution is made up of human beings who will have their own opinions, their own mindsets, and they're going to do things in a certain way to satisfy a certain agenda. There's an agenda that they want to push because they have their own opinions that they want to push onto other people. They believe they're right. So for that reason, I barely ever take too seriously what's being reported in the press and on the news. I do try and stick close to the social media side of things on YouTube and Instagram. Of course, the intelligent stuff, there's lots of silly things on there too, which is for fun, for humour, fine. But when it comes to the serious stuff, like what these three guys were saying, then that's I pay more attention to that, because when we started the lockdown here in the UK, And I know this was something that happened in other countries as well, but of course I live in the UK, so this is what I'm going to be more concerned about. A lot of things are closed, and but lots of things that we're used to doing, lots of functions just stopped. But the airports are still open, and it was reported that an average of 15,000 people are still coming into the country per day. Now, where are they coming from? Even if they're coming from a country that has a very low death rate of people dying from this disease, that's it. That's even if this disease exists. But even if they're coming from a place that has a very low death count, they could have picked up something along the way, and you just don't know. So it does make sense, but we in a lockdown at all, because if you're in a pure lockdown, the country has to stay shut. The exception will be cargo and other things that the country needs, but if the country can't produce domestically, that will be an exception. Even then, before the goods, the items reach the destination within that country, they should be checked thoroughly and sterilized, just to make sure that the goods don't bring anything into the country and start to harm the societies within that country. I say societies, communities within that country. So sometimes I listen to the whole thing. It just it's just like a big joke, really. So what else? Yeah, that's really the point I was making this video. Now, on to other stuff. I know that in my other videos, my channel does seem random that I do make one video about work, another video about the gig economy, and another video about how this happens, how this job works, and what you can expect doing that job. On my channel, I talk about virtually anything that comes to my mind, because I have opinions on lots of things. So the reason why I make these videos, is just to share my opinions with other people. I like to get feedback from other individuals. Now, I learn something new, and hopefully other people can learn something new from my channel as well. So that's the reason why it does seem random. And a rule of thumb on YouTube in particular, and other social media platforms, but I think it's something unique to YouTube, is that your channel has to be has to be tailored towards a certain target audience, a certain target niche. But for me, I don't know. For me, it'd be hard for me to be running and uploading and to own numerous multiple YouTube channels, which is why I only have one, and my channel art does say my name, who I am, and it does have around my name just the topics I like to talk about: sports, music, entertainment, technology. So yeah, that's really what my channel's about, and podcasts as well. So I'm hoping in future I will have there's some people who I know who in the past had really interesting, intriguing, and deep conversations with them. So I'm hoping that if they're also happy to do so, I can do a podcast with them about certain topics and just current affairs and what's been going on. So yeah, that's it. So if you did like this video, guys, if I didn't bore you, if you didn't find it boring, if you did like it, please leave a like, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks. Bye.